Built in 1903, having weathered more than a century of storms, the Innis Arden Cottage has never looked so magnificent. Its historic journey now preserved for generations to come. Originally a guest house on the summer estate of J. Kennedy Todd, it was used exclusively from 1906 to 1913 as a retreat by the nurses of Presbyterian Hospital of New York. When Todd died, he willed his mansion and estate to the hospital. In 1944, the 147 acres were sold to the town of Greenwich.
When the town purchased the point, there was never any budget line money for protection of the buildings. And so, little by little, they've fallen into disrepair.
With no plan and no money, the mansion fell to the town's wrecking ball in the early 60s. After decades of housing lockers and school science programs, the cottage, known locally as the Queen Anne Building, was eventually boarded up by the health department. But in 2003, inspired by the Central Park Conservancy, Chris Franco had an idea.
I was on the board of the Friends of Greenwich Point, and Sue Baker and Adele Teitel and a few others were on the board as well. So at one of the board meetings, I raised the topic of restoring the buildings, and I think a lot of people thought it was a great idea, but it was definitely an ambitious idea.
The very next year, the Greenwich Point Conservancy was founded.
Without people stepping up with such enthusiasm, with a commitment of preserving the structures and the history behind the structures, we would have seen the demolition of these beautiful buildings.
The public-private partnership was critical.
They've really set a model for many other organizations in our community to come forward, galvanize, organize, and have a statement of purpose and raise funds.
The first of many buildings on the list, the Innis Arden Cottage.
I mean, when you look at this, you realize why we have no time to waste, in terms of getting this building back together, because it's just deteriorating. It's just a shame to see it in this state. But I guess that's what that's our job, to bring this back.
It was pretty close to demolishing itself. The town wouldn't have had to do much of anything.
It was just a complete wreck on the inside. I mean, paint's peeling, plaster's coming down, wood lath is showing, water damage. It's just really sort of a nightmare. But still an incredible building. After all that wear and tear, it's still amazing.
In 2006, the GPC broke ground on the renovations.
We've been working on this for 2 years, and it's incredibly exciting to see it get started. I can't tell you how exciting this is. All right. It's a dream come true.
$1.5 million, 5 years of award-winning restoration. In spring of 2011, the Innis Arden Cottage was restored to its original splendor.
It's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing. First of all, I had very high expectations for how great this building would be, but it has far surpassed my expectations in terms of how beautiful it is, in terms of the level of restoration that we were able to do.
I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to save it before it was too late. The wonderful wood floors, the original wood floors, the stone fireplace, the paneling on the walls, I mean, all that would have been torn down in a day. There's a magical feeling about being in here. You're connected to history and connected to the beach and everything that took place here. It's wonderful.
It still is even better than what I thought it would be. And just sitting here now in the building, it's pretty phenomenal and extremely rewarding.
It is a mini museum of how life here once was. The cottage is used weekly by civic and school programs. The Flora and Family Environmental Center is bustling.
Worship, very good. Yeah, you knew it.
The Bruce Museum Seaside Center educating residents on the Long Island Sound. The cottage is also complete with various sustainable energy technologies, from wind power to solar panels. It is a true triumph of collaboration by so many people.
So it builds a team, and it builds a different sense of community for for Greenwich, and it's very positive and it's very powerful.
And on to the next project.
So this is the old barn. This was built in 1887, oldest building at Greenwich Point.
The old barn housed livestock on the Todd estate. Then the cowshed became a pro shop for the Todd's Innis Arden golf course. Fast forward to the 1960s and what was the original Seaside Museum and first concession stand. It will be restored to its original configuration, 2 separate stone and shingle wings, but with an open center courtyard with gorgeous views straight through to the water. An upgraded concession stand, a beautiful terrace with tables for dining, and restrooms in the other wing. The brick building from the 1950s will be demolished.
I think it's going to be amazing. It's really probably the best waterfront dining spot in the entire town, and it's great that it'll be available to the public.
It's a significant repurposing of this building, and it's definitely a positive for Greenwich and Greenwich Point.
The Gateway project will then bring it all together, reflecting the original gateway to the Todd estate in the area between the cottage and old barn. Parked cars and asphalt will be replaced with beach grasses, benches, and a winding stone pathway. Residents can actually buy a piece of history, a personalized stone that will be there forever. The new gateway will be transformative. The cost, about $850,000. The GPC hopes to raise primarily through its annual beach ball.
The beach ball is the event of the summer. It is something that people not only from Greenwich want to come to, but people from surrounding towns, because there's nothing like it. And the byproduct is the monies that are raised go right back into Todd's Point.
The ongoing fundraising, whether it's a naming opportunity or the beach ball or an annual appeals letter, will be what enables us to go from this project, the barn, on to the next project.
The buildings here at Greenwich Point are a heritage for everyone in town. And if they're gone, they're gone. And they bring a beauty and a sense of the past to everybody who comes here.
I think we're really creating, sort of something that's important and is a legacy, because the Greenwich Point's fantastic, and we're keeping, I think, everything that's great about it and enhancing it and making it better, so they'll outlast us.